Hello. I hand stitched my hem and my plackets on both sides. Can you see that? So I slip stitched my envelope corners, and also just to remind you, make sure you don't stitch it above that seam where you're machining your sleeve and your cuff on each side. So that is free. Okay, so it's very, very important you do that. So if I just bring that close so you can see as well. So yeah, slip stitch. And as you see, I've done it all in red, single thread. Make sure you doing it in the top color. I'm not sure if I mentioned that in another video, but make sure whatever you're hand stitching, you only attaching to linen and it doesn't go through another side. If you look another side, you can't see any of the red thread. So it's very, very important you do that. So it only attaches to the linen. So linen, the ones actually holds it. So, and yeah, as you see, it's done very neatly. In a way, it's actually my red, you can't see any of my red threads either, isn't it? To that side, to that side, so it's so very small, neat, quite tight, and you are put them together. So the next stage, I will going to have a good press. So that's where it's really important you do that. Good press where you make your lines is quite sharp, and if you don't have a good seam, use the fabric. Make sure you cover it and you use the wet cloth. Don't go too much on that line as it could print on another side, but you wanted to make it that line is as sharp, as thin as possible. Okay, so I also will advise you to do, so it's in some way, so you fold it like that, so, and you can curve it like that, so it's curved, so you wanted to reduce the amount of the fabric, so by curving it like that, so you can seam it, okay, like that, so making it in some way, making it inside slightly smaller. Okay, and then guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to check again, so make sure is everything is matching. They put on top of each other like that with my thing. Can you see? It's absolutely perfect. So you do spend a little bit, maybe a little bit more time, but actually it will absolutely worth it to make it perfect. Okay, so check and check again. Now, when you've done that, we're going to machine the back seam of your sleeve. And for this, it's quite important, you will need to unpick that, because can you see your seam is folds on the other side, which is, that means we can't get into that point there. And it's easier for me to actually, for you to fold it that way, now to unpick it on that line and then secure that stitching. So you're kind of like releasing your, releasing the seam here. And the reason I didn't tell you to do it straight away, because it's hard sometimes to see which side is which you need to leave it open. So that way you know which one. So the one which is folded over, so just unpick in a minute. Don't cut, just unpick it in a minute in that line. All your stitchings just need to be unpicked there very carefully. So do that right to the point, that's releases. That, so releases the seam allowance to that side. And the straight away I'm going to do is I'm going to secure my seam so it doesn't get undone. Otherwise you will end it up with the hole here, and which is, I don't want to have it. So I'm going to secure that part. So it's very important you secure. It's, you know, sometimes that's the worst thing, when you are doing things beautifully made and suddenly in the seams there's all these little holes and you can't fully secure and you can't get in properly in those seams. So that's very important, just securing them. So secure my stitchings on each side. So it's properly secured, doesn't go down. Okay. So when you've done that, you're just going to get that over. Perfect. So that's okay. So my stitching has been secured. I'm just going to tidy up from the thread that side and just tidy up from that side. So my stitch has been released. I'm going to press that so more flat. Now it's ready to be pinned and machined on the seam. So you fold the sleeve, right side with the right side. You mark your seam allowance. So here, so remember I ask you not to herringbone stitch that part, so we can access to that point here. So now we're marching our sides, say as you see that way. So if I just turn it that way, you probably see better. So can you see that? That's the lines. So if I'm just going to draw of our placket, so that's what we'll be marching. Yeah, so that line we are marching. So now that matches with this one, which is seam matches with seam for your calf, and then your back seam and your seam allowance are matching together as well. So now pin it together. So I pin one side here, and I match my points that side, and points are in here. So it's that one. I'm matching that together. So that and that matching. So make sure your it's been distributed all around, so you don't pull your fabric. So if it's lays flat, going to pin that. Just following my tucking, and then when I pin, I will check on another side if that follows as well. If not, I will take my pin out and repin it again. Okay. So, it's important you pin it properly. If you do need to tap that seam, you do. There we go. So I pinned it, so I'm just going to flip it over just to see, make sure it follows the tucking line. So I just need to take that and change that here. So that follows, it's pretty much perfect. So just one here. Make sure it follows the line. And I put one, two here. Okay, so when I'm going to machine, I'm going to advise you to open your seam allowance here, so you don't machine your seam allowance. If it's easier for you, to be honest, I'm just thinking if it's easier for you, I think it would be. Otherwise, it will get quite messy. That you can machine your seam allowance together. Just do not machine this point here, which is seam allowance from your placket. So I will advise you to, with that point here, just to fold it over and just pin it there so it's not with the machine, so it doesn't get in the way. Okay, then one thing I need to make sure is just make sure is my lines are matching. Okay, so I've done that. I'm happy with this one. So I would like you to do is machine from your seam allowance of your sleeve here all the way of the back seam to the actual cuff where the seams are between cuff and the sleeve. So you machine that together, and then I will show you when I've done it. I will show you how I did it, and then I'll show you how to press your sleeve again and how to press that seam. Okay, I'll see you next episode. Bye.